During the Day Without Immigrants protest, a number of people got involved of all different demographics, including a lot of students. A lot of high school students decided to, flex their political muscle, be politically active. However, 6 teachers in Riverside, California decided to say pretty terrible things about these students on social media, publicly. Okay. So first of all, before I get into the details of what they said and how they said it, educators should know privacy settings on social media. In fact, they should prioritize that before anything else, okay? Because you're an educator, and so people might watch you and what you do on social media. Mm-hmm. And so in this case, these teachers weren't so smart.
They got caught.
They got caught. Okay, so what did they say? Well, at least 6 teachers at this high school in Riverside discussed the positive effects of these students not showing up to class because they decided to go protest. Now, they weren't giving these students props. They were actually saying, oh, thank God these students aren't here because there's so much trouble and I don't have to deal with them as long as they're gone. Mm-hmm. So one social science teacher issued the original post, which said having his class size reduced by 50% served to support President Donald Trump's executive orders, cracking down on immigration because it illustrated how much better things might be without all this overcrowding. Oh. He then characterized those who protested as lazy or looking for an excuse to get drunk. Okay, so lots of stereotypes here, obviously, but the one thing I do want to address is not everyone who protested was undocumented, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people out there protested because they are citizens and members of their community might be undocumented, maybe their parents are undocumented. Like, the assumption that no one gives a shit about this other than undocumented immigrants is kind of crazy. And so he's painting this very specific picture of who went out there and protested, which I think is wrong. And then he calls them lazy. You're lazy because you want to get politically active and go to a protest? Let me just say something. Protests are the most inconvenient things on the planet, okay? The Women's March was awesome. I went to the Women's March. I was proud of myself for being part of it. I was proud of my peers for being part of it. It was incredibly, incredibly difficult to get there, incredibly difficult to move around. It was uncomfortable, inconvenient. It is not something a lazy person does, okay? And then also get drunk. Based on what? Like, did you see them holding bottles of liquor as they were protesting? I think they were holding signs, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, you could, if let's say hypothetically half the school ditched for senior skip day, you could make that comment about the 50% smaller classes would be good, maybe. But it's not wise to do it when the particular form of protest that's going on has to do with immigrants specifically. You know, you're an educator, you should be educated. You should know that you should be a little bit more careful with your language.
Yes. Now, another teacher, a science teacher, characterized those absent as failing students. An agriculture teacher, Rhonda Fuller, and science teacher Chuck Baugh agreed their students were less disruptive. Let's do this more often, they wrote.
What you're saying is, God, how great is it when we don't have those goddamn immigrants clogging up our system? That's all they're saying. And some people are going to love it. And some people are going to say, well, how dare you get on them? Again, it's a First Amendment thing, even though, again, it doesn't have anything to do with the First Amendment because it doesn't have to do with the government. But you can say whatever you want, hypothetically, and we can have a problem with it. And parents can have a problem with a teacher who apparently has at least some level of racial bias, who has to teach people of diverse races. They can have a problem with them continuing to teach them. The First Amendment, your rights to free speech, don't protect you from anyone having an issue with the terrible things you believe and say and do.
They're teachers, right? So they understand what has happened to public schools for decades now. They're aware of the cuts in funding and the real reason why we're dealing with overcrowding in the classrooms. It's because we keep cutting resources for these schools. And so instead of blaming what's really happening in terms of politicians not prioritizing education and continuously cutting funding for it, they're going to go ahead and blame the most powerless people for how clogged up their classrooms are, how big their classrooms are. Are you crazy right now? Like, I get it. You're a teacher. You deal with a lot of BS, right? But the problem is not that there's too many immigrant students. The problem is that you guys continuously get denied the resources necessary to have smaller class sizes, to have enough teachers to take care of and teach all these students. That's the big problem, right? And also another thing, as a teacher, you are not supposed to have a negative view of one group of students versus another, to the point where it might affect the way you treat these students and the way you teach these students. So I think it's problematic when you have teachers that obviously have a very clear racial bias against certain students, right? Like, does that mean that you don't emphasize their education or prioritize whether or not they're doing well? Do you just look down at them and just think that they're lazy drunks? And by the way, this has a chilling effect for a lot of the students that go to this school and actually looked up to these teachers. So let me give you a post from one of the students. She writes the following: "It may be gone now, but ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the beloved teachers of the high school. My heart is so broken. I love these teachers, and this is how they feel about us and our people. I understand you don't agree with the protest or the way it's being done, but to just openly say those comments about students, I can't even be angry. My heart just hurts. We all looked up to people who think of us as lazy drunks." And that was the part that really, I don't know, made me feel terrible, because it's not like these are students who have treated these teachers poorly or looked down at these teachers and disrespected them. A lot of these students actually looked up to them, and it was a sobering moment to realize that these educators looked down at them, that thought of them as lazy drunks and nothing more.
You can help hire investigative reporters that'll chase down stories no one else will. Be the media. TYTnetwork.com/go.